Hey, it's Mrs. Lohoff here. This video is all about how to find the least common multiple in 2 or 3 fractions where the denominators are different. Now, I'm only going to show you how to find the least common multiple. I'm not going to show you how to change the fractions. That would be a completely separate video, and I might do that, but I'm going to show you how to find least common multiples. So let's get started. This is the worksheet that I have been sharing in class and that you can use and get a copy of through class. I've also shared it in my newsletters. It is called the Least Common Multiple Worksheet, and this is exactly what I've been using all along. So let's pretend that we have a fraction like 4/6 and 3/4. It doesn't matter if we're trying to add or subtract them. The first thing we have to do is always the same. We have to look at that denominator and decide if those two numbers are the same or if they're not. The numbers 6 and 4 are the denominators. Denominator means bottom number. 6 and 4 are not the same. So because they're different, we have to find the least common multiple for those two numbers in order to create new fractions using that least common multiple. So how do we do that? Let me see what color I've picked here. No, I don't want that. I want purple. Oops, that's too light. Okay, so our one denominator is 6, and the other denominator is 4. What you're going to do in the row next to 6 is you're going to either copy the multiplication chart for 6, or you're going to practice your facts by completing 6 times 1, which goes in this box, then 6 times 2 in this box, and all the way through to 9. Then when that row is done, you're going to come back and you're going to do the same thing for the number 4. And you again can use your multiplication chart to copy those numbers if you'd like, or you can practice your facts. So when I look at my multiplication chart for 6, I can see that 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. Are you seeing these numbers on your chart, or are you practicing your facts? Either way, you're golden. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. So that goes in this box. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. And 6 times 9 is 54. So we've completed the multiplication facts for 6. Now we're going to go and do the multiplication facts for 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. And 4 times 9 is 36. Now that we've finished either copying the multiplication facts for 6 and 4 onto this chart or practicing them, now we have to look for numbers that they have in common. We've done the multiplication facts. Now we have to look for the numbers they have in common. So I'm going to look in this row of 6. Do I see 6 in the row of 4? No. How about 12? I do, right here. Let me change colors to show you. We have the number 12 in both the row for 6 and the row in 4. They have that in common. And I noticed something else. They also have 24 in common, and they also have 38 in common. So they have 3 common multiples. We want to pick the one that is the least or the smallest. So we have 12, 24, or 36. Which one is the least? Which one is the smallest number? That would be 12. So now we would come back, and again, I'm not going to show you this step in the video, but the next thing you would be doing is you would be changing this fraction to have a denominator of 12, and this fraction to have a denominator of 12. Those are called creating equivalent fractions using a least common multiple. Oh my gosh, so many words. Creating an equivalent fraction means making a fraction that is valued the same using a least common multiple that we just figured out from this chart is 12. So the example of a least common multiple for 6 and 4 is 12. Let's do another one. Let's pretend we have a fraction of, oh goodness. Okay, we'll do this one. We have two fractions, 1/3 and 3/5. Doesn't matter if we are adding or subtracting these fractions. And I realize these are hard to read with my color. I am sorry. The first thing we do is we look at that denominator. Will a red show? Oh, it will. Oh, it's kind of like a highlighter. We have a 3 in the denominator of this fraction, and we have a 5 in the denominator of this fraction. They're not the same. We can't add or subtract these fractions unless we have a number that's the same on the bottom. In order to find the same number, we need to find the least common multiple for the number 3 and 5, because those are our bottom numbers. So let me put them into our worksheet. We have 3 and 5. And now the process is the same as what we did before. We're going to take the multiplication facts for 3, either copy it from the multiplication chart or practice them on our own at skip counting and fill this out. Then we're going to do the same for 5 and fill that out, that row out. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7, 21. 3 times 8, 24. And 3 times 9, 27. All right, we have finished the multiplication chart for 3. Remember, this is the number here that we are looking for the multiplication facts. Now we're going to do the multiplication facts for 5. Oh, those are fun. 5, it's counting by 5s. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can't even keep up. 35, 40, 45. All right, we've filled out the multiplication facts for 3 and the multiplication facts for 5. Now we have to find a number that's the same in the top row for 3 and the bottom row for 5. There's only one. Do you see it? It happens when we multiply 5 times 3, and that number is 15. So the least common multiple for 3 and 5 is 15. So coming back over here, and I'm going to use the red because it pops better. I would create a new fraction from 1/3 so that my new denominator would be 15. And I would do the same for my fraction 3/5 to create the new denominator of 15. Then both my denominators are the same, and I can either add or subtract the numerators. Let's look at an example that would have 3 denominators, because that does sometimes happen. All right, so let me think here. Let's have 1/2 and 3/4. and 2/6. Doesn't matter if we're asked to add or subtract these fractions. In order to do it, they have to have the same bottom number, the same denominator. So if we look at these denominators, we have 2 and 4 and 6. Those are not the same. So we're going to have to find the least common multiple. So let me put those denominators in the chart. We have 2, 4, and 6. So we're going to look at all the multiplication facts for 2 and fill them out in the chart. 2 times 1 is 2. This is skip counting. 2 times 2 is 4. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. All right, multiplication facts for 2 are done. Now let's do the multiplication facts for 4. Again, you can copy this right from the multiplication chart. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 8, 32. And 4 times 9, 36. All right, one more row. This time we're doing the facts for 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6, 36. 6 times 7, 42. 6 times 8, 48. And 6 times 9, 54. It's not the greatest 5. All right, now that we've finished all 3 rows, we need to find the number that they have in common. It needs to appear in all 3 rows. So if I just look kind of one at a time, 2, I'm not going to see 2 in the others. Oh, 4, here they have 4 in common, but 4 does not appear in the row for 6. Oh, 6 and 6, but that does not appear in the row for 4. Oh, keep going. 8. Oh, we have 8 in the 4, but not in the 6. 10. 10 only appears here. 12. Oh, 12 is in the 4. Hey, 12, 12, and 12. All 3 numbers have 12 in their multiplication chart, and that's the first number we found. That's the same. That is the least common multiple. So now you are ready to go back to the fractions, and we would change each of the 3 fractions so that the denominator is 12. That way, you would be able to either add them or subtract them as you need to. All right, in order to figure out what that numerator is going to be, that is a different process that I'm not showing in this video, but I might make a separate video just about that. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Keep practicing. Use the worksheet. You should be able to find a copy of it. I've got it in several different places, but if you still need one, just reach out and ask, and I'm happy to send you your own copy of this least common multiple worksheet. All right. Bye, guys.